and we give away, so far I've got 5 turkeys from the different businesses. And then I'm looking at City Hall and I thought, you guys got 3 businesses. And I was wondering if I was going to ask for 3 turkeys, but I'm not silly. And I was wondering if you a turkey, and then when they give it away at the park, they'll announce it. It'll be at our place at the grocery store, and they don't have to be there to get it. I usually do this a little bit before Thanksgiving, but I thought it would be nice to do it at Fall Festival.
When it came time for the turkey, I was thinking the same thing for a donation for Thanksgiving is what I'm thinking.
Well, and
community
I would even
dinner-wise.
keep it at the store for them, and they can pick it up just before Thanksgiving. But we call it the Thanksgiving giveaway, and Connie Kemp made me a sign for it and everything, which I still have.
We can discuss that here later.
Yes.
So let's move on.
We can do it at the next meeting.
Okay.
Whatever. And get it anyway.
Okay. Bait shop.
I move to accept Julie's bid.
I'll second it.
Motion to accept Julie's bid for 2025 to operate the bait shop, the permit office by Brett, seconded by Tim. Further discussion?
I move to accept.
Whoa. Yeah, you can't have a motion with it. There's another motion on the floor.
Okay.
At least until it fails or. Too much movement, too many motions. So you're back on.
You're back
calling the
on.
Question. We're on track.
Okay, motion by Brett to accept Julie's permit contract application, seconded by Tim. Further discussion, comments or concerns?
I have concerns
Okay,
because of receiving the complaints about Julie. And I think it would be wise to give somebody else a chance.
do
I
you-
agree with Michelle.
and you guys have records of these complaints that have come in, is that right? You're aware of
We
them?
have. That's not the reason, but
Well,
I have more than that reason, I guess, if you want to go there.
okay, well, I
I think
sounds,
Mary Jane has done it. Sorry, can I just talk for a
Yeah,
second?
yes,
if we're gonna
yes.
do that?
yes, go
Okay.
right ahead.
I think that Mary Jane has actually done a lot of the running it in the background, and I think she's the reason it did so well the last couple of years. So I really would like to give her a shot at running it. That's my opinion.
Also, I asked Julie if she knew how to run the, Firefly program. She knows nothing about it, doesn't know how to use it. Mary Jane was the one running it. And Mary Jane was the one keeping the financials.
Who was paying Mary Jane to do that job? Who was
And I've
paying?
been doing it
Who
too.
was paying Mary
been
Jane to
gone.
do that
I said
specific?
Julie.
Julie, correct? Julie hired Mary Jane to do that job, correct?
But Julie
Correct.
was hired for
Correct.
that job, and she should know how to run the program.
Correct.
Excuse me. She should know how to do her job,
I do.
and she doesn't know how to.
I think
Run
you and
Firefly.
Annie might be speaking for Julie. Julie, how many times have you seen Michelle or Annie out at the lake to look at things or anything?
I thought you had a ton of employees running it. How would you?
But I have been running a Firefly since Mary Jane's not been there. And as far as I
That's
know,
good to know. Thank you for telling us that, Julia. I appreciate that.
Continue.
as far as I know, I paid up to the city and I refunded people their refunds on their keys. I know how to make reservations. I don't know how to do everything on there, mind you. But they have a 1-800 number that I can call.
And we did hire Mary Jane at an extra $1,000 to do that. So that's why she would have the administrative passwords to where nobody has any of the passwords except Mary Jane because she set it up. Have you gotten those passwords, Julie?
No,
She still has not gotten those passwords to be able to run that properly since Mary Jane left.
To run Firefly?
To run your stuff,
Because I'm
correct?
able to change those passwords. I was not told anyone had any problem logging in.
Nancy was having problems with hers. It told her to change her password. She didn't
I'm
know what
able
the
to
old
do all
one
of that.
was because I didn't have.
But that doesn't have anything to do with you. You're the city clerk. That has to do with
Uh-oh.
Mary Jane having the passwords and not giving them when she left. My motion still stands.
Go ahead.
I do not have access to any of that. I don't have any of that information. The admin is not even me. So please stop blaming me for something that I have no access to.
So Julie, if you don't have the passwords, how are you accessing everything?
I do have them.
You do have them.
I know.
Nancy is having problems logging in without her password to do the job when she's there working. Is that not correct? Was having problems,
She
yes.
was. And then
Yes.
she called Firefly. They gave her a new number. Kelly made me an administrator out there, so now I'm an admin on the Firefly, so I can do everything that I need to do on there.
Okay, and my understanding was the contract was with Julie, so we are paying Julie. We did not allot any money for Mary Jane. That was between Mary Jane and Julie, not the city and Mary Jane.
Right.
Right.
You said that we paid
We did
Mary
get
Jane.
We
We
did.
paid her
We
last year
absolutely
at
did.
this time. We all voted to pay her to send her through the training. And she set up the passwords and we paid her an extra $1,000. We absolutely did we not?
but
Absolutely.
we did not pay her to work out there. That was between Julie and her.
Right.
I don't understand your point. What you need-
Exactly.
I don't understand your point.
We did not
I heard all
Mary
of that.
Jane
Why are you making that point?
because
What?
we didn't pay her.
Okay, you're right. I won't disagree with it.
Okay.
I'm confused, but
Yeah,
moving forward.
I'm bewildered.
Okay. Is there any further comments, questions, or concerns by anybody? Okay, not hearing any. The motion to accept Julie's contract for the 2025 season by Brett, seconded by Brett.
By Tim.
What?
Seconded by Tim.
Seconded by Tim.
There you go.
Yeah. Motion by Brett, seconded by Tim. Thank you,
He
Annie.
can't second his own motion.
I'm thinking ahead of myself here. Okay. All right. So those in favor? And those opposed?
No.
Okay. So
Tied. Council's tied. You're the tiebreaker.
the council is tied, and I'm the tiebreaker. And I've said all along, as mayor, if there's complaints that are being made by anybody within the city, whether they're contract or employees, I should be made aware of them when it happens, not after the fact. So any complaints against Julie that have came in the last 30 days, as far as I'm concerned, are not valid. And therefore, I'm going to vote to keep the contract with,
You're in favor of the motion.
I'm in favor of the motion, yeah, with Julie for the 2025 season.
Biggest mistake you gonna make?
No, it's not the biggest mistake I made. There's a lot of mistakes I've made, but that's far from the biggest one. So complaints next year against Julie for 2025, I need to be aware of them when they happen,
Okay.
not afterwards.
Okay.
All right, Housing Authority's next. Becky's not here, I take it, right?
I don't think so. Was she outside? I will look.
Robin?
No, Becky.
Becky,
No, nobody's out there.
She's not.
then I'm gonna table the Housing Authority meeting till the 28th,
No, I can speak.
or somebody needs to make that motion.
I'll speak.
Okay,
Um, Wasn't prepared to do that since Becky was gonna be here, but I'll just give you a brief rundown of the Housing Authority. We've been meeting monthly since March. As of the last couple months, we've been meeting sometimes once, maybe twice a week, looking at different housing areas, empty lots, potential houses, buildings on Main Street, for apartments, just various different amounts of things. We have some things going on. We've been in communication with Jana Williams for grants and with Stephanie Imthern, County Economic Development. Carrie has reached out to K-State and KU's historical museums. And we have different plans that we'll be bringing to the council, hopefully within the next few weeks to a month, to give you guys kind of an update of what we're doing. But we have adopted Main Street into our initiative, as well as that, to try to get some housing and stuff and try to re-energize Eskridge and the Main Street. So that's what we've been doing. In May, I don't know if everybody knows, but in May, Lisa resigned from the Housing Authority. So we've kind of been running with 3 housing board members at present. We did have Clay come to us and talk to us, and we met with him a week ago Thursday, I believe. And the Housing Authority voted as a recommendation for Clay to join the Housing Authority. We think he'd be a good asset. He works for Kansas Housing and could be really beneficial to us. So that's where we're at.
Okay, so currently board members are Brett Kimball, Carrie Schaefer, and Becky Frank. You make sure those names are put in the minutes, please.
Are they going to be signers on the account?
That's to be determined, because I'd like to get 3 more members.
It's up to them to
Yeah.
decide that.
Right. So
it's-
right now it would be the 3 of us.
Okay.
And we would like to also have the city clerk as a signer as well, because
Check
she's
and
here,
balance.
yeah, for that purpose. And then if Clay gets appointed, we want him added on there as well.
I'm gonna make that appointment. So
Yeah, I will talk to Clay and make the decision on the 28th. And if there's anybody else out there that wants to be on the Eskridge Housing Authority Board, get with me and we'll have a little 15-minute interview. Okay, let's see. I'm assuming this contract's Julie's. There's no names on either one of them.
no, in
Yeah,
2020.
so this is the old contract. I
2024.
don't have, I
And
would,
then, so this one would have been Mary Jane.
But she just keeps using the same contract and just changing the date.
For my records, sorry.
Can I bring up something about the contract?
Well, we're past it, but you can bring it up.
Okay,
Are you ready?
is there anything, is it possible to add one sentence to it as for the requirements?
At this point,
The only thing
We've
we've
done it
done
before.
the only thing we've done is accepted the contract.
well,
As
you
operator.
can, I mean, I'm gonna take it as Julie's submission of this agreement was an offer.
Yes.
By vote, that was accepted, so we accepted the offer. Now, the city could discuss with Julie a mutually agreed amendment to the contract of whatever would be desired, but that's how we would do it. Because, I mean, that's where the contracts are built. She made an offer, we accepted her offer, it's a contract, so if we want to change it, both agree.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Julie, would you have any objection to adding to the contract that the operator shall ensure no alcohol or illicit drug use by personnel on shift?
I absolutely do object.
Why?
I don't have to have a reason.
I mean, There were several people that found you passed out.
I don't believe that's true.
Oh, I believe so.
But well, then you should have brought that up to the city council when I was out there working. That's a bunch of crap.
So
Now,
that,
well, hold on a
that
second.
tells me right there. That
is
tells me right
is there a
I don't tell you
desire
anything.
on this part of the city council to offer that as an amendment to the contract? To
No.
they have to make a motion to make that offer.
I've had contractors working in my house lately who drank a beer while they're working on my porch. Contractors do that.
Drinking a beer, no biggie. But when you drink to the point where you pass out, that's another story.
Have you heard of anything called neuropathy? And how somebody has to be laying down in a position a certain amount of time during the day because they can't stand because they're literally in physical pain and they take drugs for it?
I don't want to cross any
I should-
barriers here, Brett.
And
not
that, are you a
I'm just
doctor?
asking if she's heard that.
Yes, I used to
Heard
work
of
for an endocrinologist. And
You should have conversations.
not able to get them to stir, can't wake them up at all.
I think in the future, if we find that to be the case out there, that law ought to be called because that's known as public intoxication. And I
Mhm.
believe there's a law against that. So if anybody sees that situation, they need to call the police,
Okay.
file a complaint.
What if I'm drunk when I see it?
Well, are you the one calling it in?
Maybe you want to ride too.
Yeah, share the same cell.
I've been drunk out there at that campsite before. I'm just telling you.
Well, you weren't on a job either.
Okay, I think that's got everything on the agenda covered. So was that your council concern there, Michelle?
Yes,
Do
it
you
was, sir.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Brett, council concerns? Tim?
Yeah, I just have one for Clay. The house that's passed, you guys can have to help me out here. Across from Knight's house. It has the weeds as tall as me in front of it.
Susan
Across
Kennedy,
from Nutter.
Lindical,
Is that whose house that is?
both of them, I believe, corner to corner.
Is there anything being done down there? Can we do?
I don't know which one we're talking about.
What street is that, Brett?
First Street,
That's
isn't
right
it?
up the road from Alex.
Past where Tony Marstall's
Behind
trailer
Alex.
is.
Yeah.
Behind Alex,
Yeah.
to the
Be to
To
the
the
north.
north.
That's, I believe that's First Street.
Yeah.
There's a 2-story house there that has literally weeds as tall as I am.
I think the people moved out of that one. I think somebody moved into the white one.
Yes, I
recently.
saw lights on in the white one yesterday.
I don't know, I haven't looked at the yard or anything, but I do know somebody moved into there and I think they moved out of the 2-story.
So in direct answer to your question, no, I have not done anything with that.
Linda Cole owned it though. I think she moved on back down.
And also, if you would, the property that's across the street from me, the vacant lot that's on the corner.
Yep.
That grass hasn't been mowed in 2 months or more. We had a storm, limbs fell down out of the trees, are laying all over that yard. It's nest to a lot of alley cats and other critters.
I bet. And then you'll get rats and mice and.
Andy and those guys put their goat out there and they just annihilated all those weeds. You need a goat.
You eat all that darn poison ivy. That'd be great.
They eat that
But
too.
we need
and
to
it's-
allow goats first.
Okay, I want to, can we move on?
Well, if they were doing the job though.
Right.
I was thinking I had another
I'll
spot,
come,
but
I'll
we
come
can
back.
move on.
I'll come back to you if you need.
I did have something along the lines for Clay as well. We have had properties in townhouses that have been condemned and we've kind of abandoned and never done anything with them. And to me, in my mind, I'm thinking they're still condemned. So if we condemn them, the people are gonna have to fix them up and we'll send somebody in there to inspect, make sure sheetrock hasn't been pulled over, moldy sheetrock. I mean,
Yeah, depending, I mean, whatever the decision was made, I don't know what you guys ultimately ruled on the resolution, because usually they're in the alternative, either they repair it or you remove the
It was
structure.
supposed to be that they repaired it. This specific house, though, had a gigantic hole in its roof for a decade.
Yeah, well,
And there's definitely not anything done to that. And I do believe people are living in that residence. at
well,
this point.
if the resolution said they have a certain amount of time to repair or make the structure safe, and they did not do it, and that you will remove the structure, yeah, you can do it. I just want to make sure that's somewhere in that resolution or whatever you did as a final ruling. If the ruling just said they will repair it or we repair it, then you don't have the right to tear it down. You need to renotice it, redo it.
And you guys have an ordinance that's a land bank. If people can't repair it and they can't afford to, they can donate it or give it to
Right.
the land bank.
I have papers on that right here.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Do you know what address that I'm speaking of? What is the address of that?
Oh, I know the house you're speaking of, I don't know the address.
Okay. Well, I would just,
Is that on First Street also?
no, it's on Beta.
My favorite house in town.
I think it's 102. But
102 Beta.
for sure.
Oh, okay.
We should have torn that house down 30 times.
Yeah.
The surrounding people agree.
Good Lord, we've brought it up so many times. This
Okay,
meeting.
any other council concerns?
I did.
Folks that are here.
I forgot when I spoke about the housing board that I did have two other things. The housing board had spoken, they would like the council to revisit the ordinance that they had talked about, I believe, in 2022 about residential houses that don't have utilities and passing an ordinance to make sure that all residential places pay utilities if they.
Don't we have something like that already, Todd?
Well, it's a nuisance code that says that a house is deemed uninhabitable if it doesn't have certain utilities, meaning heat / electricity, water. And and the plumbing is, I mean, you can have the utilities that go up there, and you could, if you're not connected to water, that's one thing. If you don't have a toilet and a tub and a thing, that's another. So you got to have connection to water and the tub, the sink, that kind of thing. So that's.
I don't think that's what I'm meaning. That's not what I'm meaning, right?
What do you mean? Just that.
I mean, the house itself, whether somebody's living in it or not, will be susceptible to paying our minimum fees.
Okay.
every
I get
month.
you. Yeah.
Whether it's vacant, inhabitable, condemned, and nobody's living in it at all, they're still going to be paying
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah,
a minimum.
Yeah, I
Does
get
that
you.
go for the businesses on Main Street?
it should.
Well, if these guys decide, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong about doing that. I get the distinction. Yeah, you can vote, determine as a matter of an ordinance that.
But didn't we?
Either everyone is hooked up and has an active account, or they pay monthly minimum. I guess
I
we
didn't
determine.
mention businesses yet because I don't know the answer to if every business has had hookups to our utilities or not, but I know every residence has had. So when I find that out,
And will there be?
some people have,
Experience.
like, I don't know that some of the buildings have ever had a utility besides electricity. Like, they've never had water because back in the day they had a well and then it's just been vacant and they haven't ever had anything. So, but I want to find that answer out.
Well, is it
I can tell you
you're going to
personally,
do that?
I probably
So
need
if you have a
all that.
vacant lot, you're not talking about that, right?
What?
Yeah.
Vacant lot? No. Just
But
if
yeah,
it has
house.
a house, yes.
Okay.
Well, there could be a vacant lot issue because you guys remember earlier this year, we discussed something very similar when it comes to people that had water meters that they weren't using.
Mhm.
So if you have a vacant lot that's got a water meter on it, they're still responsible for making some payment because we are responsible for maintenance on that water meter, whether they're using it or not. So the same thing would apply to a vacant lot or a business that's not actually running, in my
It's a
opinion.
slippery slope because then they're going to have to go out and actually do that maintenance. And there's a whole lot of water meters that are not.
We are supposed to be replacing water meters once every 10 years, and I bet that hasn't been
The
going
water
on.
meters have been replaced. They've been working on it for the past 2 weeks.
Wow,
Yes.
thank you. That's the first I've heard of that too. Speaking of which, did where are we as far as the requirement to turn in that copper piping survey by Wednesday of this week? Is that correct?
I believe that there was an extension, but I do know
Okay.
that Jim has
You're on-
taken those.
You're on top of it,
reports, yeah.
right? All right. I trust you're on top of it because you said
Jim's
so.
actually on top of it. He's just been filling me in
Okay.
on the
Well, good.
steps. Yeah.
Maybe you should run for mayor next
Yeah,
time.
no,
I
thank
think
you.
it's the
Smart lady.
16th though.
Yeah, so if they get an extension, then we're okay. And I knew it was coming up this week.
I had one more thing.
Okay.
The housing authority wants to put together a cleanup day or a cleanup weekend, and we were hoping that the city would partner with us and get a dumpster this fall, and it would be set out here like we did in the spring, and people would be able to come and put stuff in the dumpster, and then we'd have a volunteer list for people that can't get out and get stuff out of their yard, that people could show up and take away and
What they
throw in
don't.
the dumpster what people want to get rid of that
and
can't.
What's your proposal for partnership?
50%.
50% of the cost of the dumpster?
Well, we don't have a bank account at this point, so we can't promise you anything.
Okay. Well, until you get your
Um,
bank account, I don't think I
But
can.
I would
promise
propose
anything
that the
either.
council do a cleanup day like we did in the
Makes
spring.
sense.
I understand.
Didn't we used to always do that right after Halloween? Way back when.
We used to, we got away with not doing it for some years. Now we've been doing it in the spring. But last year I brought it up again just for us to do. Like, I really think that we should be doing it twice a year.
And speaking of which, in the spring, that there is a grant. Granted, it's only $250, but it's $250 that we could use to help offset a cost of a dumpster in the spring for spring cleanup. That's available every year. So we need to remind ourselves of that the first of the year so we can get that application in before May, for the record. Annie, do you have anything you want to add? Comments?
I do. Where the F are the log sheets?
Good question. I do believe I asked that they be prepared and brought in tonight. or
Why
available
can't
for
we
us.
get our employees to do what we're telling them to do?
Good question.
Maybe we should give them another raise. I moved to adjourn.
And I'm not done.
Okay.
Okay, Annie, I'll ask you, Annie, are you still online?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have any comments for council concerns?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay, then I want to add that, remind everybody that we have a special meeting for the employee workshop on October 21st. That's next Monday at 7 p.m. Does everybody remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. Is that a meeting or a workshop?
It's a workshop,
Work session.
work session.
So it's not a meeting.
It's a work session. You get paid for it, Tim.
Lastly, I would just
if
like
you're
to
here- if
remind
you're here, you get
everybody
paid
about
for it.
the fall festival. on
I'm
the
sorry,
26th.
just one second. If it's a meeting, we can take action. A work session, we cannot take action.
The only
Is
thing
that
we
the
can-
difference?
That's the difference. We can, at that workshop, we can make changes to whatever we want to do. And then at the next council meeting, we can vote to accept them or not. So, you know,
That's what I
28.
wanted to know. So
Okay. So if you're not here at the meeting, then your chances of putting your input in for what's going to happen or the session will be null.
Is it to be recorded or live
It's,
feed?
It's open to the public if they want to come in, but
you don't have to have it
recorded.
video.
We can record it. I wouldn't care.
We've recorded in the past.
The workshops,
Yes.
I don't recall that, but that's okay. Okay, so next Monday, the 21st, 7 p.m., it is open to the public. The only last thing I got is Sam Kidd. She was hired on several years ago to work part-time. She's completed her drug testing, and so she's good to go to work in here. However, her pay has been at $11 from the time she started. And I think that ought to be increased, and I'd like to get the council to approve an increase. And we'll make it effective.
Do you know how,
first of
remember how
October.
much Carrie was getting after she quit? I don't think she quit after she
She
stopped.
wasn't getting anything after she quit.
Right. The time,
I think she was
Up to when
making
she was-
$14 an hour is what I
Do you want me
think.
to, I can
But I'm
try
not
to
sure.
look?
I think it was 11 something. But yes, if you could check that.
I don't have any problem giving her $15 an hour.
That was what I was thinking.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Was she
Well,
gonna
make her
work?
money.
Was she gonna work one day every 6 months?
Do I
I mean,
still
we
need
didn't
to
even
look?
pay Carrie that. She worked here 17 years.
Well, that's
Y'all
y'all's,
make a motion.
that's y'all's fault.
So you thinking 18 or what?
What'd she say, Kelly?
Do I still need to look
No,
it up? It sounds
no,
like you just have a
no.
majority.
No. Not me. They did.
Did you make the motion,
No,
Tim?
I did not.
Okay.
No, that's how you.
No, not an official. No,
Sorry, what are we saying? What amount?
There's no amount that has been moved to be.
We were talking
set by-
about giving her a raise and I went with $4. What do you think, Annie?
From 11 to
Well, I
$15.
I'm not gonna pay her more than Kelly makes, so I think 15 that's basically our going part-time rate, right?
Yeah.
Well, never mind, scratch that.
Well, you're right. We're not gonna pay her more than Kelly. That's for sure.
And I asked what
So-
Carrie had at the end of her working here. So that's what she's looking at.
Well,
And how long ago was
if
that?
Carrie
Oh,
wants
at
to come
least
back,
3
we'll pay
years.
Carrie more too.
What'd you
Hasn't
say?
been that long ago.
At least 3
And she
years.
worked here 17. She was like a long time. She was here longer than Lisa, I believe.
Well, I'd love for her to be treasurer. She applied, but
She would have
didn't
been
get a
great.
chance.
Yeah.
I moved to pay Sam Carr $15 an hour.
Tim Kidd.
And I don't, Sam Kidd, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that. Are we backdating it? Is that what we wanted to say?
I want to backdate it to October
Can I get
1st.
an answer to my question first, though, Annie? Because Kelly's looking up that pay
It's
right
just a
now.
motion. It's motion. It's a motion. If he
Sure,
has a second-
nobody has to say it. Backdated to October 1st, and then I'll be quiet.
What was the number again?
$15.
15.
15.
Backdated to the first.
Second?
All right.
Okay.
Now we gotta go.
Now we have a motion and a second.
I'll let her answer.
Motion by Annie to bump Sam Kidd's hourly wage from 11 to $15 an hour.
And she'll be taking payments and everything that Kelly does.
Supposed to be doing
Mhm.
everything Kelly's supposed to be doing. Supposed to be doing everything. That's correct. Supposed to be.
I thought we gave Carrie a raise when we gave Lisa a raise, right before, like the year before Stephanie left.
I'm pretty sure it was like 7 something an hour to 11 something an hour was her increase.
I thought they were all over 12. So
Well, we're also talking 3 years ago too.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any further questions or comments, concerns?
Right. I think it was
What you find out?
$12.
Back in 2022, it was 11 an hour.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You're right, Griff.
So two.
I am good with numbers.
That was on recording too.
Okay, those in favor of moving it from 11 to 15? Any?
Yes. Yes.
Those opposed? Okay, motion passes to $15 an hour, 3-1.
I thought it would be funner than that to give a $4 raise.
Would you
Yeah.
do me a favor and notify Sam?
Sure.
And for this last day that she worked here, that would,
I've never done it, so maybe I'll let you know sometime.
okay, now I don't have anything else. Oh, I do have a
wanted to be
question.
part.
When is the fall festival? What day?
26th.
The 26th. Dolly, we cannot
October
wait.
26th.
We cannot wait till the 28th
It's the
to,
28th, isn't it? Yeah, that's our.
we
your
can't
meeting.
address your deal on the 28th if the fall festival is on the 27th.
Well, anybody in businesses, yeah, well, you can do that and we'll connect you with the bait shop. That's not the city though. The city can, you guys can choose to donate a turkey or not,
Give her the
but all the other businesses have so far.
Give her a bird, like Tim said.
Yeah.
Let
there
them
you
eat
go.
turkey.
One of
I think the
these.
sense of the council is you
Who's made a motion?
I did
Okay, you seconded.
What was your motion? I didn't hear it.
to donate a turkey.
It'll be
And it
about
was
12 to
seconded?
14-pound turkey.
Hi, Brett.
So now we need to vote.
Okay,
That's
take
how it
over, Madam
works.
Mayor. Madam Mayor, take over. Go ahead.
Okay,
Any
Aye.
questions,
any comments,
concerns?
questions,
Concerns?
concerns?
Let's vote.
Let's vote.
Annie,
Yes.
anybody else? Those in favor? Okay, it passes.
Thank you.
I move to adjourn.
Second,
Motion to adjourn, seconded by Annie. Those in favor?
excuse me?
Michelle.
Michelle?
Michelle.
He doesn't know who I am.
You know.
All right, we're out of here.
I vote yes.
All of me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Annie.
Y'all just didn't see it.
I got it.
Bye, Annie.
Thank you, Annie, for participating.
Yeah, bye.
These are the papers.
I'll give you a sign.
There's several if you wanna.
Show me what you
You
need
need
to
to
sign.
keep for a minute before
Okay,
you
let
leave.
me turn this off.
Got what?
You know what I'm saying? $1,000 for very
Ken.
Yep.
I can tell you.
That's why I voted for you to be the
Well,
signer.
all right. I just needed,
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to talk about that.
You have any
I wanna
choice when
talk
you guys
about- I
voted
don't
for me to sign it?
understand. I thought that with.
Choice did I have?
We can't have next.
Yeah.
Attorney-client privilege.